You've probably heard it 100 times. Charge what you're worth. My friend, that advice is keeping you stuck because your worth isn't up for sale, but your offer is. And pricing isn't about what you've earned, it's about what you decide. So, what if you stopped inching your way up from $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000? What if you just charged what you want today? So in this episode, I'm going to show you why pricing boldly is actually the smarter path to growth and how to break out of the undercharging trap once and for all. If you're just starting out in business, this is going to help you. We're going to talk about how to set your prices the right way from the beginning. If you've been in business for years and you're not hitting your income goals, can I just say that probably the number one reason why is not that you don't have enough leads. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you don't have great testimonials or better sales copy. It's that you're undercharging. Like you're just undercharging. And we're going to get into why that matters in a bit. But just so you know, like punchline, if you charge more, you make more. I know it sounds crazy. But also if you charge more, you signal to the industry that you're a higher quality service provider. You're a higher quality product provider. You're a higher quality brand. And we've talked about this a lot on the show and on this channel, but your undercharging and your low prices are repelling people. So we won't have time to get into that, but we're going to talk about the decision because I know so many of you are thinking about raising your rates. But what I want to encourage you to do is just to charge what you want, not what you think you should charge. And not only that, are we going to talk about that today in this episode? I want to help you beyond this episode. I want you to come to my 5-day challenge, the 10K offer challenge, where I'm going to actually teach you how to design, build, and install and sell a $10,000 offer. Even if you've never launched your business before, I know that sounds crazy. I'm going to teach you how to do it. And in 5 days, we're going to do this live. And in 5 days, you're going to have your $10,000 offer built. And you're going to know how to sell it without having to jump on sales calls or beg people. It will actually be the opposite. I'm going to teach you what I call effortless enrollment, where people are going to want to enroll into your programs. They're going to be begging you to pay you $10,000 or $20,000 or $5,000, whatever you choose. But if you've ever wanted to know how to price, how to build something that you can feel proud of at a premium and sell it, know how to sell it, and have the confidence and have the skill set and the psychology to sell it, I'm going to cover all of that in my 5-day $10,000 offer challenge. So it's simple. Just click the link in the description below or go to 10kofferchallenge.com. There's still time to grab your ticket to the event. It is a live experience, so you'll see all the dates and times and all that kind of stuff on the page. So I want you to come. I want you to hang out with me. We'll do work. It is a challenge, so you're going to have homework. You're going to actually build this thing because I really want to help you win in your business. So come to the 10K offer challenge. And let's jump into today's episode because there's a few things we need to unpack. And I was thinking about this because my mind was just like broken in a good way. It's like bent out of shape. Yesterday, I spent 5 hours with Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Myron Golden. Myron's one of my mentors right now, working with him and love everything he teaches and everything he does. But Benjamin Hardy is also one of my favorite authors. I've reviewed 2 of his books, The Gap and the Gain and 10X is Easier Than 2X. He co-authored both of those with Dan Sullivan. And Ben's actually, he was supposed to come on my podcast. His team canceled on me. It turns out he canceled 50 podcasts because he's taken a different strategy to growing his business and getting his new book out. His new book is called The Science of Scaling. It drops at the end of July. I got an advanced copy of it. But he was at this event here in Tampa and he was like, bro, I'm so sorry we canceled on you. And I was like, it's okay, man. He actually like asked if he could come back on the show. He's like, I actually listened to your podcast. I was like, bro, you listen? He's like, bro, I listened to your podcast. I want to come on your show. So we're going to get Benjamin Hardy on the show, which will be wild because I've loved a lot of his books. But he and Myron were just going at it for like 5 hours. And I'm just filling pages of notes, right? You got to be in the room, right? If there's a room you can get in where there's someone doing big things that just expands your thinking and expands what you think is possible, get in that room. And, seriously, the 10K offer challenge, it's a virtual room, but I'll be in it. It'll be live. You can come and be in the room with me and tons of other people that are building their businesses, building their $10,000 offers, a lot of them for the very first time. Be in those environments. It'll expand your thinking because if you don't expand your thinking, you're not going to expand your income. If you keep thinking what you're thinking, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. You're going to keep doing what you're doing. Nothing's going to change for you. So be in the room. I'm in the room. I'm taking tons of notes. But one of the things that Dr. Benjamin Hardy was focusing on, because obviously he wrote 10X is easier than 2X, which if you haven't read that book, you should, because that title just sounds crazy. And we'll get into that. And then the science of scaling, which is the more practical application of that concept, basically. And it's his new company, scaling.com, is that there is a lie of linear growth. And this is something that I totally believed. And no one taught me this lie. I think it's just intuitive. Here's the lie. We're taught, or we intuitively think, that success comes step by step, dollar by dollar. So we think there's this gradual, ramp to more income. And we think slower is better. We think it's more humble, maybe. We think gradual is safer. But I think there's a deeper thing. I think there's this insecurity that, well, I'm not worthy enough to charge that or make that much money, but I could see myself getting there in 10 years or 20 years or 5 years. And so we make these sort of arbitrary timelines and timeframes on our arbitrary goals, and we don't dream big enough and we don't dream fast enough. We dream kind of small and kind of slow and far out in the future. And so the reality, and this is what Myron and Ben were like going at, and I was just like, so many dots were clicking for me yesterday, was that the slower, safe route actually will prohibit you from getting to your goals because it limits your thinking and it forces you to optimize for the wrong things. If you give yourself 10 years, let's just get practical. Let's say you're charging $1,000 a month for one-on-one coaching. You're a health coach, you're a parenting coach, you're a sleep coach, you're a business coach. I used to charge $1,000 a month for one-on-one coaching. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Now I charge $250,000 for a day, for a VIP day. And I'll share a bit of my journey here too. But imagine you're charging $1,000 a month for coaching. The typical thing you're going to want to do is, I don't want to stay there. So maybe in a year, I'll go to $1,500 a month. And then I'll go to $2,000 a month. I might even double it to $4,000 a month after a few years. Once I get more experience and I get more testimonials. But whatever the time frame is, the jumps are very small little steps. And that's the way our brain thinks. So that's linear growth. The way Ben Hardy talked about is that the linear path, it's laborious, meaning it takes a lot of labor, it takes a lot of work because you're on the path for longer. But what if you just went from $1,000 a month? Like if your ultimate goal would be, I would love to be charging $10,000 a month. I can't even imagine charging $10,000 a month for coaching. What if you just decided that you're a $10,000 coach instead of a $1,000 coach? Like what is the difference? Do you actually know what the difference is? Your answer would be very telling to not how quality of a person or a business owner you are, but to the level of your thinking. If you believe that to become a $10,000 coach, you need certifications, or you need a degree, or you need a certain number of clients, or you need a certain type of client to vouch for you, or you need the signing off on someone else that's big in the industry, or a team, or a better website, or I don't know what it is, but there's something that you have decided, either consciously or subconsciously, that is the gatekeeper from you charging what you want. And you obey that gatekeeper. You say, I can't go in that room. The room that you want to go into is the room of charging what you're worth. Charging what you want. I believe what you're truly worth. I had to put worth in quotations because that's the phrase people say, charge what you're worth. Well, what does that even mean? But there's this gatekeeper that's prohibiting you from going into the room of you charging what you want. So let's say you want to be a $10,000 coach. You've got a gatekeeper somewhere. But can I tell you something, friend? You put that gatekeeper there. There is no pricing police that exists that will come and say, you can't charge that. Now, there's trolls on the internet that'll tell you that, but they don't know what they're talking about because they don't understand how pricing works. They don't understand how sales works. But you picked a gatekeeper. I got to be 40 years old. I got to be in the business for 10 years. I got to have this number of clients. Whatever it is, you picked it. And you are not allowing yourself permission to step to that next level. But that's self-imposed limitations. Do you hear what I'm saying? Is this ringing true? I don't know what it is for you. I don't know what that limitation is, but you've chosen it. So you're then just going to stay with linear progressive growth, which is slow. But not only is it slow, it's suboptimal. And it actually will do the opposite. It'll force you to optimize for the wrong things, the lesser path, the distractions. You'll spend money and time tweaking your website. You'll go to the wrong events. You'll work with the wrong coaches yourself. You'll attract the wrong clients. Like you will actually, because you're on the linear slow path, optimize for things that will actually prohibit you from ever becoming the $10,000 coach or the $1 million coach or whatever the number is for you. This is what's crazy. So going back to Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy's 10X is easier than 2X. The premise of that book, right? And I've reviewed it on this channel. The premise of that book is that 2X thinking is about working harder. Okay, if I were going to 2X my business, well, I would just do more of what I'm doing, but just harder or maybe faster, or I'd work a little bit longer, because you can almost see what it would take to 2X. It probably seems impossible to you to 10X. That's a good thing, because your current system and model won't get you to 10X. That's kind of the point. So if you imagine a 10X future, and you imagine that, let's say, in 2 to 3 years, you probably have to throw out your whole everything. You like, it changes the conversation. And now you have to ask yourself better questions, because now you have to optimize for different things. You might need different clients. Maybe to go from $1,000 a month coach to a $10,000 a month coach, you just have to start finding $10,000 a month clients instead of $1,000 a month clients. They exist, by the way, but you're not looking for them because you're not signaling to them that you're a $10,000 coach. I know it sounds painfully obvious and stupidly simple, but because you're not saying to the market that you're a $10,000 coach, you're not attracting $10,000 clients, but they exist. You could become a $10,000 coach if you just started serving different people. Okay. 10X thinking might make you have to come up with a different delivery model or a different sales mechanism, or a different offer structure. You might not be able to do it as a one-on-one coach. You might have to go to group coaching. Did you think about that? That's an option. You might not be able to do it with coaching. You might have to do it with a product or a software or a team. I don't know, but there are ways to get to your level, but you might have to change some of the systems of the model. 100% to get to 10X, you're going to have a 10X mindset, a totally different mindset. You're going to have to view yourself totally differently. And this is some of the magic. There is that classic book, The Magic of Thinking Big. Some of the magic that comes when you start to try to even imagine, what would it take to 10X my business or charge what I really want to charge? What would have to happen? Well, we talked about it last week, that having a premium price forces you to get clear on, well, what kind of result could I offer my students or clients, and what would be the best method to get there? And it just forces you to become a better business person, because you're dreaming about bigger, better things. Low prices, linear, slow growth, charging what you think you're worth or what you're supposed to or what other people in your industry charge, all of that makes you mediocre. Charging what you want makes you better, because you have to be better, because you could charge a lot, but who's going to buy it from you? Or if they do buy it from you because you're really good at sales, who's going to love it if it's not great? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes. It is a forcing function. Thinking bigger, having a bigger identity, having a bigger vision for your future forces you to become more, to think more, to serve more, to think more clearly, and to optimize for the right things. Is this making sense? So let's talk about the decision, because the only thing stopping you from charging what you want versus what you're charging now is not time, it's not experience, it's not a better website, it's not better logos for media outlets that you've been featured in. It is a decision. Because not only are there no pricing police that tell you you can't charge that, there's also no pricing kings and queens that come and knight you and tell you this is your new price. Like, you have to come up with that for yourself. And not only do you have to come up with it, but you have to decide to make it public and become that. So you don't earn your price. You decide your price. Nobody tells you what you really should be charging. You tell yourself what you want to charge. Can I be honest with you? Like, you don't wait until you're confident to charge more. You charge more, and then you become confident as you become more. And it is scary as all get out. I took my one-on-one coaching pricing 3 months ago, and I 5x'd it one day to the next. I used to charge $54,000 for one-on-one coaching, and I decided to make it $250,000 and offer less of my physical time. I created a whole different structure and fulfillment mechanism for my one-on-one coaching. Here's what's crazy. I just built that. That's a new offer for me. As I was building that offer, I had a 10-minute conversation with a guy who I didn't even know who he was. I met at an event. He heard me speak for 10 minutes. And he wanted some one-on-one coaching. And I realized he didn't need my new $250K offer because there was a few components to it that just wouldn't make sense to him. They wouldn't be valuable to him. So I just pitched him $100,000 for a VIP day, just 8 hours of my time. I was like, bro, normally it's going to be $250K for all of these things, and that's part of it. But for you, $100K. He's like, when can you send the contract? I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I almost didn't offer him that. In that moment, I went from a week prior offering a $54,000 coaching offer, and you got a year of time with me, calls and Voxer access. And then I just made a $100,000 offer for 8 hours with me once, and we're done. And he said, yeah. And that was just a decision, right? There was no one that was going to come and say, Graham, the time is now. You can jump now. I just had to decide. And it felt scary. It felt weird. But you know what's amazing? The moment you put out that higher offer, whatever that number is for you, and somebody says yes, and I promise you they will say yes. Not everybody will say yes. Not everybody says yes now to your current prices. You might as well charge more and still get the no's, right? But once somebody says yes to it, shoulders a little further back, lower, your chest comes out, you smile, your whole physiology changes because you realize, wait, I'm a $10,000 a month coach now. I'm a $50,000 a year coach now. I'm a $100,000, whatever it is. Like you become this new version of you, and then the confidence comes. So I wish I could say you could get confident first, and there's this formula, and then you know exactly what you should charge. There's no should. There's no should. It's whatever you want. And it's probably more than you're charging now, considerably more. So you decide, right? And what's so cool is that this pricing becomes a positioning tool. I was just talking with some of my inner circle clients. We just got off of a call this morning. And we're talking about this very same issue because they're all doing great things, but they want to charge more and they want to charge incrementally. I said, friend, I got one of my clients and he's charging a few $100 an hour. He's charging $150 an hour for coaching in his niche. And he says that's already high for his niche. And he wants to go to 250. I was like, imagine though, if you were $5,000 and it wasn't for one call, but it was just a package with a few calls, but it was $5,000 was the minimum somebody could spend to work with you. If they see you for $5,000 for a coaching package and then another person for $250 an hour, I'm not sure which one they're going to choose, but which one do they think is better? You with the $5,000 offer. So your positioning changes. So they want to work with the more expensive one because the price signals to the market that you're premium. And that doesn't always mean you're the best, but if you're the cheapest, you definitely ain't the best, right? So there's so much that comes with the pricing. So here's the punchline. The fastest way to get to your premium price that you want, to become the premium version of yourself that you want to become, is to just do it now. Skip this whole incremental thing and skip the stair stepping and just go straight to the top. There's literally no reason why you can't. The only reason why you wouldn't is because you won't allow yourself. Fear, permission, all these things, which we're going to talk about. So why don't people charge more? Because this is like, you might be nodding your head. This makes sense. Good for you, Graham. Happy clap for you. Okay. There's 3 big reasons I believe people don't charge more. Number 1 is insecurity. Biggest one. It's the who am I to charge that? Some people call it imposter syndrome, but it's just this internal like, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough yet. Or I haven't worked with enough people. All these things we've been saying. It's insecurity. Number 2 is fear. Fear, what if nobody buys? So it's really a fear of failure, or it's a fear of embarrassment, or it's a fear of the business crumbling because, okay, well, I know the business is working when I charge this, but if if I doubled my prices or tripled my prices and then nobody bought, then I'd be poor and destitute. And like we go to these, extremes, right? So it's insecurity, it's fear, or this one is very common, especially if you grew up in a religious or very morally upright home, like I did, and that is guilt. Guilt. You might not say this, but internally your subconscious might be saying, isn't that greedy to charge more? Isn't that greedy to charge more? Let's break these down. Do you resonate with any one of those three? Insecurity, fear, guilt? Anybody? Let's talk about insecurity first. Who am I to charge this? Here's the answer, my friend. You're not selling your worth to them. They're not buying you. They're buying an outcome. They're buying a payoff. They're buying the value you bring to them, which is the outcome or the payoff. They don't really care if you've been in the business for a year or a decade. In fact, oftentimes, and I want to say it was John Acuff who said this way back in the day in his book Start, which is a great book, by the way, that most people who have had 20 years of experience in an industry have had 1 year of experience 20 years in a row. Meaning they ain't any better than a person with 1 year of experience. They just keep repeating the same things, doing the same things. They don't grow, they don't learn. So being in the business for a long time doesn't necessarily mean that you're wiser, worth more to the market. Does that make sense? And I think in people that are buying something intuitively know that. If you don't, here's the problem though. If you don't focus in your sales process on the outcome or the payoff, they will focus on other things. And then they might say, well, who's this kid? He seems young. Or how many clients has he had? Or their brain's going to go to other things if you're not keeping their attention. Like, hey, the payoff, this is what you want, right? You want your marriage to be better. You want to be in shape. You want to make more money in your business. Like, this is the payoff, right? You want less stress. You want to cut your work hours in half. I can help you get this payoff. So as long as you keep your attention with your messaging, your sales copy, if you're on an actual call with them, on the payoff, that's all they care about. They really actually don't care much about you or me, to be honest. So it's not about your worth. So you have to just think about what kind of result can you give somebody? You're already giving a great result to your clients. You're just charging too little for it. You can give the same result to somebody else and charge 10 times the price probably, because the pricing isn't about your competence or your confidence or your experience or your credentials. It's not about any of those things. It's always about the payoff that they want. So can you give them the payoff or not? So insecurity means you're focusing on the absolute wrong thing. It's not about you, okay? Number 2, fear. What if nobody buys? And there's the dual fear of either, what if nobody buys, my business shuts down because I'm broke, or being rejected in the moment fear of like, put out the offer and they say, I'll think about it, which means no. Here's the great news, especially if you sell the right way. The right offer to the right person doesn't need any convincing. In fact, selling isn't convincing. I don't think I've ever convinced anybody to buy something. People buy, this is something Myron beats into my brain. People only buy for one reason, because they feel like it. They only buy something because they feel like it. It's your job to show them that your offer is going to get them what they want. So then they can come to the conclusion, I feel like buying Graham's offer. So your job is to show them the true value of your offer, which has nothing to do with you or your experience or how many modules are in your video or how many calls they get, or do you know what I'm saying? It has everything to do with the payoff. This gentleman that just bought my $100,000 offer, I had a million questions for him. I don't even know if I could help him until I figured out what he's trying to do, where he's getting stuck. And then I realized, oh, so you want more of this? Because when you do this, you make this kind of, you want this, this, or this? I can help you do that. And now I know what that's worth to you. Literally, for him, it's worth like an extra $1 million probably. So $100,000 makes total sense because he's going to easily make $1 million over and over and over again off of what I help him with. So then I didn't have to talk about me. He doesn't even really have to know much of what happens with the offer. I was like, I can help you do that. And it would be $100K. Does that sound good to you? He said, yes. When can you send the contract? So see that shift? It's not about me. It's really about listening to what they want. And if you can give them that outcome, then charge a premium for it. So The right offer, the right person doesn't need convincing. You don't have to worry about, like, the wrong person's going to say no and you should be expecting no's. Okay, it's not for you. So the fear can be obliterated when you realize you don't have to convince anybody. And there are people that will buy your offer. There are always people out there who will buy your offer. You're just not signaling to them that you exist because you haven't put that offer out there. The offer you don't make is the offer they can't take. Let that sink in for a second. And then number 3, guilt. I kind of like this one because I come from the Christian world and there's a lot of like, oh, you shouldn't be charging a lot, and a lot of weird beliefs about, it makes no sense if you think about it, and usually the argument breaks apart the moment they start opening their mouth and talking about it because they just have never thought about it. But there's this internal guilt that you might feel, which is real, that I'm greedy if I'm charging a lot more. Or I should help people for free, which is the extreme of that. It's the same thought, like, oh, they need the help. I shouldn't charge because they need the help. Friend, you can't help people if you don't charge more. You certainly can't help them at a high level. And there's a couple reasons why. Let's be selfish for a minute, just to get that out of the way. If you're underpaid and overwhelmed, you can't over-deliver and surprise and delight. You can't even stay in business. If you can't keep the lights on, you can't feed your family, then what happens? You have to close down your business and you can't serve anybody. And this happens every single day. Most entrepreneurs undercharge, overwork, and so then they burn out, and then now no one's getting helped. And the whole time, like, oh, but I just got to help this person. They just can't afford my offers. I can keep my prices low. You literally are doing the opposite. You're getting to the point where now you can help nobody. But here's the kicker. Low prices attract low committed people who invest little to nothing in themselves. When you raise your fee, you raise their level of investment in themselves. Like, they will watch every video. They will come to every call. If somebody paid you $10,000 and they only paid me $1,000 for a similar program, you better believe they're going to watch your videos and not mine. Because they're like, bro, I paid him $10,000. I got to watch that. I paid her $10,000. I gotta come to her calls. Graham's thing, it's probably good. I'll get around to it. We value what we pay for. People who pay attention, and people who pay a lot of attention. So why does that matter? Because for them, your fee is not for you, it's for them. Higher fees bring higher investment, higher commitment, which they're forced to bring their higher self, which means they take action, they show up, they break old beliefs because they're invested. And that's how you get results for them, which is how you actually help them. So your lower prices are actually hurting your customers. You're hurting your clients. You're not helping them. You're hurting them. All right, let's wrap this up. Now is the time to charge more. Like, today is the day to charge more. Not, I'll think about it this month. Maybe next year I'll up my prices. You're making that up, friend. It's all made up. That what you're thinking, the time frame, the pace at which you charge more, the prices that are coming into your heads are all made up. So if you're going to make it up, you might as well make up a better future. You might as well make up higher prices sooner, because there's no one coming to tell you it's time. There's no one coming to give you permission. This is your signal from God that you have permission to do it. Like, my voice is your permission if you need it, but you don't need it, by the way. 3 thoughts about why now is the time to charge more, and then we'll wrap this up. Number 1, have you ever thought about the fact that inflation isn't waiting to charge more? Do you know what inflation is, right? The cost of goods get more expensive each year. Groceries cost more than they did 5 years ago. Vehicles cost more. Rent has gone up, right? Everything goes up. Your electric bill's gone up. Why is it gone? Inflation. Inflation isn't waiting to charge more. It's coming. Which means if you don't raise your prices, you literally have less buying power every year. So inflation isn't waiting. Your future isn't waiting. Your future, the dreams that you have for yourself, for your family, for your community, most dreams cost money. Not all, but most dreams, the biggest, best dreams cost money. So your future, which is made up of your dreams, is waiting for you to do something. But at the same time, it isn't waiting for you, because it's coming, whether you do something or not. And once it comes, if you can't afford it, you don't get your dreams. And your dreams probably will impact other people. So those people don't get impacted. Everything spirals out when you don't make the change you need to make to raise your prices so that you can buy your dreams, fund your dreams, make the impact in your family, in your community, because dreams cost money. Number 2, you've already helped people. Like, if you've helped somebody, even for free, if you've gotten them a result, you're ready to charge more. Like, again, this whole, like, I got to do this first and then this second is all made up. So that's fine if you want to grow that slowly and that linearly, but like you're going to optimize for the wrong things and you're going to be over here changing the color of your button or getting another graphic designer or redoing the sales copy or increasing your prices by $50 an hour. Like you're ready. I don't know what you're waiting for, but you're probably just scared to make the leap. But once you make the leap, you realize, what was I waiting for? When you go high ticket, everything becomes easier. When you become a premium provider, everything becomes possible. And at the end of the day, the third and final reason why now is the time to charge more is that it's not about being perfect. There's no perfect pricing. You can tweak, you can change. It's about deciding to view yourself as a different person. It's deciding to shape your future. It's deciding to take ownership over your future instead of saying, oh, the market this, the economy that, competitors charge this. All of that is victim mindset. Every time you think like that, you are giving power to everything else. You're giving power to the market. Oh, like I can't make the money I want because of the market. They have the power. I don't have the power. Oh, my industry only charges this. You're giving everyone power. That's a choice. You can choose to, as Rage Against the Machine, I believe, said, take the power back. You can choose to take the power back and say, no, my family deserves better. My clients deserve better. My industry deserves better. My future deserves better. My quality of life deserves better. So I'm going to take ownership and I'm going to just charge more now. I'm going to charge what I want, not what I think I'm worth or what people say I should charge. If you need help with this, like if you're ready, like Graham, this makes sense. You're ready to stop undercharging and finally build real value, build an offer that you could package, that you could sell, that you could talk about confidently. That's pretty much like self-selling, something that is so desirable, people are begging you to sell it to them. In whatever industry, whatever thing you sell, you need to come to my challenge. That's exactly what the 10K offer challenge is. You don't have to make a $10,000 offer. It's sort of a milestone. It's like a metaphor for going high ticket, being a premium provider. I'm going to teach you the science of scaling, how it works, and how few people you need to really increase your income. I'm going to show you how to craft irresistible offers that people are begging you to sell them. I call these magic offers. We're actually going to build and package and price and design the fulfillment for your high ticket offer in real time. I'm going to teach you how to sell it without sales calls or without a team or without complex funnels. And then we're going to install it and launch it into your business all in 5 days. So if that sounds like fun to you, you should click on the link in the description or go to 10kofferchallenge.com. Just come do it with me. Let's do it in a big group. It's going to be a live event, a 5-day experience. And if you're ready to like actually do something about this instead of think, wow, that was an interesting episode. That was an interesting video. Bro, let's just do it. Let's just do the work. Let's change your business forever. This is the fastest way to change your life and your business is to go up the value chain. And I'm going to help you do that at the 10K offer challenge. All the links are below. Hope this was helpful to you. If so, leave me a comment. Let me know. Until the next time, my friend, go serve people powerfully. Charge what you want. Charge more now. I'll see you on the next episode.